When it comes to flirting as an older man with a younger woman, the foundation has to be confidence, not empty compliments. Too many men think that if they shower a woman with praise, she'll automatically feel attracted. But the truth is the opposite. Compliments can feel cheap when they come without presence or energy backing them up. A younger woman is not impressed by flattery alone because she likely hears it all the time. What will actually stand out to her is the way you carry yourself, the way you look at her, and the way you don't need her validation to feel good about yourself. That's where confidence becomes the most powerful form of flirting. Because you have confidence, it is very easy to be flirty. Think about it. If you walk into a room with your shoulders back, your posture strong, and your attention grounded, you don't even have to say much to make an impression. Confidence is communicated before you open your mouth. A woman can feel when a man is sure of himself, when he's calm, and when he doesn't need to rush or force the interaction. That subtle aura is far more attractive than rehearsed pickup lines or shallow flattery. And confidence makes your words matter more, even if you say very little. Younger women are especially sensitive to this dynamic because they're used to men trying too hard. They can spot desperation in seconds. But when an older man interacts with them from a place of relaxed certainty, it breaks the pattern. Instead of chasing, he's grounded. Instead of needing, he's choosing. This instantly makes her curious about him. She'll feel there's something different, something she can't quite put her finger on, and that curiosity is the seed of attraction. Now, this doesn't mean you should never compliment her. A well-placed, sincere remark can be powerful. The difference is in how it's delivered. If it comes from confidence, it won't sound like you're trying to win her approval. It will sound like an observation, an acknowledgement, and then you move on. That balance shows her you appreciate her beauty, but you're not lost in it. You still value yourself more. At the end of the day, flirting as an older man isn't about saying the perfect thing. It's about being the kind of man whose presence makes words unnecessary. And that begins with true confidence. When an older man flirts with a younger woman, the biggest mistake he can make is turning the interaction into a stream of validation. Constantly telling her she's beautiful, amazing, or special might feel like the right move, but in reality, it communicates neediness. Younger women already have plenty of men throwing compliments at them, so it doesn't separate you from the crowd. It actually makes you blend in with everyone else trying to gain her attention. What truly makes you stand out is playful banter, the kind of teasing that feels lighthearted, confident, and fun. Playful banter works because it flips the dynamic. Instead of showing her you're desperate for her approval, you show her you're comfortable enough to challenge her. That doesn't mean being mean or disrespectful, but rather keeping the tone light, as if you're in control of the interaction without taking it too seriously. For example, if she says something predictable, you might gently exaggerate your reaction or joke about it in a way that makes her laugh. This shows that you're not walking on eggshells around her or trying to impress her. It shows you're willing to be yourself. Younger women are drawn to this because it feels refreshing compared to men who instantly worship them. Banter creates tension, and tension creates attraction. When you tease her in a subtle way, you're signaling that you see her as a normal human being, not someone to be placed on a pedestal. This instantly makes the conversation more exciting because she has to work to win your full attention. That shift of energy is what hooks her. Another reason playful banter is so powerful is because it communicates social intelligence. It shows you understand timing, tone, and confidence. Any man can compliment, but not every man can spark a genuine laugh or make her feel the thrill of being playfully challenged. That's where the real connection starts to form, through emotion, not through empty praise. The key is balance. If you go too far, it feels like you're trying to put her down. If you don't go far enough, it just feels like ordinary conversation. But when you find the sweet spot, where your teasing makes her laugh and lean in, that's when she starts associating you with fun, confidence, and attraction. At the end of the day, it's not validation that makes her obsessed. It's the playful challenge that keeps her engaged. Flirting as an older man with a younger woman isn't about rushing in or forcing physical closeness. It's about creating an energy that pulls her in without you even needing to touch her. Subtle physical presence is one of the most powerful tools you have because it speaks louder than words. A younger woman will notice the way you stand, the way you hold eye contact, and the way you carry yourself in moments of silence. These details communicate strength and certainty, and they create an invisible magnetism that makes her pay attention without you having to chase. Most men make the mistake of leaning in too much, invading her space, or trying to touch her right away. That often feels desperate and ends up pushing her away. Instead, the secret is to let the interaction breathe. A confident pause in the conversation, paired with steady eye contact and relaxed body language, builds more attraction than a dozen compliments ever could. When you can stand tall, stay calm, and let her feel your presence, she begins to feel the weight of your masculinity without you needing to announce it. Younger women are especially sensitive to nonverbal cues. They notice the small things, your tone of voice, how close you stand, whether you fidget or stay composed. If you show control over your body language, she will interpret that as control over yourself. And that's incredibly attractive. Subtle gestures like lowering your voice slightly, leaning back instead of forward, or maintaining eye contact just a little longer than expected can send a powerful signal that you're confident and in command. This approach also creates anticipation. By not rushing into physical touch, you allow her curiosity and interest to build. She'll start wondering if you're going to make a move, and that wondering is what creates excitement. When the physical connection finally does happen, it feels more meaningful because the tension has been allowed to grow naturally. Flirting is less about doing something obvious and more about letting her feel something she can't quite explain. And when your physical presence is steady, calm, and confident, it communicates that you're the kind of man she can't easily forget. One of the most overlooked elements of flirting as an older man with a younger woman is the power of mystery. Too many men make the mistake of over-explaining themselves, telling their whole life story in the first conversation, or constantly trying to impress her with details about their achievements. But what actually draws a younger woman in is when you give her just enough to spark curiosity while keeping the deeper layers of who you are slightly out of reach. That sense of mystery makes her want to keep coming back to discover more. Masculine mystery isn't about being secretive or playing games. It's about knowing that your value doesn't need to be advertised. You've lived, you've experienced, you've gone through things she hasn't, and that naturally makes you more layered. When you hold back from putting everything on display, you force her to lean in and try to figure you out. Instead of you chasing her with stories or validation, she finds herself chasing the puzzle of who you are. That dynamic alone shifts the balance of attraction in your favor. Younger women are naturally drawn to men who carry depth because it contrasts with what they often see in guys their own age. Younger men usually try too hard, overshare, or act as though they have everything figured out when they don't. When an older man shows restraint, it communicates maturity. She feels that there's a quiet strength within you, and she can sense that you don't need to prove anything. That kind of presence intrigues her because it feels different, rare, and valuable. Another part of mystery comes from the way you tell your stories. Instead of giving away every detail, you share just enough to paint a picture, then you leave the rest hanging. That makes her ask questions. That makes her want to know more. And each time she leans in to dig deeper, the connection between you grows. You're not forcing attraction. you're letting it happen naturally because her curiosity keeps pulling her toward you. At the end of the day, the less she knows right away, the more she wants to know. And when you embody that balance of being open but never fully revealed, you become the man who stays on her mind long after the conversation ends. Flirting as an older man with a younger woman isn't about trying to act younger than you are or forcing yourself into her world. It's about owning your age with confidence and turning it into an advantage. Too many older men think they have to compete with younger guys by dressing, talking, or behaving like them, but in reality, the exact opposite is true. What makes you attractive is that you're different. You carry experiences, lessons, and a sense of stability that younger men simply cannot replicate. When you flirt from a place of self-assurance and authenticity, it naturally makes you stand out in her eyes. Confidence doesn't mean being arrogant or overbearing. It means being grounded. You don't have to force jokes to win her approval, and you don't have to exaggerate stories to capture her attention. A younger woman will feel the difference between a man who is genuinely comfortable in his own skin and one who is desperately trying to prove himself. She will respect and respond to a man who doesn't need her validation to feel complete. This sense of calm confidence shows her that you are secure in who you are. And that energy is magnetic. Flirting also becomes more powerful when you mix this confidence with subtle playfulness. Instead of chasing or overpraising her, you can tease lightly, make her laugh, and show that you don't take yourself too seriously. That playful balance keeps the interaction light and fun, while your grounded presence adds a layer of attraction that younger men usually lack. You don't need to try hard. You just need to be present, attentive, and relaxed in how you carry yourself. It's also important to let your body language do the work. When you maintain strong eye contact, stand tall, and listen with intent, you communicate interest without having to say much. A confident smile or a pause in the right moment can do far more than a long speech trying to impress her. She notices these subtle cues, and they reinforce the fact that you know how to carry yourself like a man who has lived and learned. The truth is, younger women often admire older men because of the qualities that come with age, not in spite of them. By owning who you are and carrying that confidence into your flirting, you not only attract her attention, you earn her respect. At the heart of flirting as an older man with a younger woman lies one of the most underrated qualities: respect. Too many men overlook this, thinking that attraction is only built on charm, humor, or confidence. But in reality, respect is what separates a man who is taken seriously from a man who is brushed aside as just another flirt. Respect doesn't mean being overly cautious or putting her on a pedestal. It means recognizing her as an individual with her own boundaries, choices, and autonomy. When a younger woman senses that you treat her with genuine respect, it disarms her defenses and allows her to feel safe in your presence. Respect also shows in how you communicate. Instead of talking down to her or assuming she lacks maturity just because she's younger, you listen attentively and engage with her thoughts as if they matter, because they do. This creates a connection that feels real rather than transactional. Women can instantly sense when a man is talking to them with the sole intention of getting something, and that energy makes them pull away. On the other hand, when your words and actions reflect respect, it creates a foundation of trust that makes her more open to your presence and your flirtation. At the same time, respect is about honoring your own boundaries as well. Too many older men overextend themselves, bending over backward to prove their worth to a younger woman, only to come across as needy. True respect is mutual, and it begins by respecting yourself first. When you know your value and carry yourself with dignity, she can't help but notice You flirt not by trying to please her every second, but by showing her that you enjoy her company while still maintaining your own self-worth. When you combine respect with confidence and subtle playfulness, you create a powerful balance. She feels both safe and excited in your presence, which is exactly the space where attraction thrives. Respect also sets you apart from younger men who might approach her with shallow intentions. You show her that your interest isn't based on a quick game, but on something more thoughtful and grounded. In the end, respect is what allows flirting to be received in the right way. Without it, everything else crumbles. With it, every word, glance, and gesture becomes infinitely more impactful.